Looks like we're up. Wi-Fi's up. Nobody here yet. That's okay. Okay, good morning, good morning, good morning. John's first up here. That's the first one I see this morning anyway. Hello guys. I'm taking a chance with the camera here today. Actually, it's a sunny day, and I'm hoping that the sun is high enough in the sky that it's okay for the camera. It's a little bit hazy, but if a clear spot comes in, we might get a problem with the camera. I don't know, we'll see. Good morning, good morning. What to do? There's 600 different jobs on the bench. 600 different jobs. There's more embossing, we'll set that aside, I think. There's Great Wave Chidi checking. I'm about 1/3 of the way through it, but that's not so much fun for a stream. We were testing some dosa. Oh, we can have a look at these. These have to be yeah, the sun's coming out there. Is it okay, or is it going to wash out the view? I can get up and change it the other way. Okay, this is actually, is this top secret? I guess it is, but it doesn't matter. Whatever. This is, I don't know, September's print in this year's series. I guess it won't hurt to give a little preview to some of you. This is the September print. We may have shown it already, actually. I don't remember. Lots of rain. There's two different rain blocks on here. Light rain and a darker rain. And we were of two minds. Well, we had lots of minds actually what to do about this. How dark and gloomy to make it, and how how visible to make it. And actually, Ayumi-san here, she's given us some quite a bit darker. We tried some test printing. Really, really dark. You could barely see the village in the background in the rain. And maybe I chickened out. I don't know. It just seemed too gloomy. So we brought it back to a more of a generic view, with a light sky in the distance, a bit more optimistic feeling. And what I may have lost, because I made it too wishy-washy, it doesn't have enough power, the storm. It doesn't look so strong. But the dark one, the storm really looked strong, but on such a small scale print, the dark just, it was just too dark. This is Kawasaki-san's carving. Can we see the embossing? Yeah, Kawasaki-san's carving. And this is Ohashi printing. Ayumi-san, the girl who used to be called Miyashita, and now she's Ayumi-san. Seems gloomy as it is. Yeah, it was a lot more gloomy earlier in the test printing. A lot more gloomy. And she's broken them up into groups here. Oh, here we are. She's got no good group, which she thinks is no good. A questionable group. Look at that, quite thick. Ooh, and then an okay group. Whatever, we won't do that on stream here. I'll have to go through it and check also for last bits of chili, and they'll go to the Ome shipping center ready to be sent out. That's the September print. That's the second batch. One batch has already flown through. No space to stack stuff up here. So the standard work today. Let's get back to standard work. Yes, John, paper is out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Paper is out. Actually, a couple of things happened before the stream. I did get the paper out this morning at about 6 o'clock. Ishikawa-san is there. She's printing the October print first batch. And Dei-chan's here. She's printing the October print second batch. And something else that happened before the stream is the Oshibori man came just while I was setting up the camera there about 10 minutes ago. Different driver. Oshibori-san truck pulls up, stops, turns off his engine, no sounds whatsoever. Gets out, tailgate opens, comes down, out he goes, does his job, all in peaceful silence. Different driver. And I was out there, so I thought, should I talk to the guy? I just don't make trouble, Dave. It's okay, whatever. So he's gone. The next event will be, what? The garbage truck for the Korean restaurant. Is the cardboard out? The cardboard is not out. I don't actually have enough wrapped up. Thank you. Somebody's really on this today. I know last night I put out the cans and the PET bottles. And you're supposed to put the cardboard itself is still supposed to go out in the morning in case it rains overnight. But I have a bunch of cardboard, but it's not wrapped up. It's not tight. Well, I remember, that's right. I walked down the street with you guys watching. Soka, soka, soka. There's a batch right in front of me, but it's not tied up, so no. Yeah, you're looking the opposite direction to the scene outside is looking the opposite direction. It's quite a clear day, but there are big fluffy white clouds, and you can see it right now. We're in between some clouds. You can see them in the distance there. So I'm a bit worried about the camera. Then what's the plan for today? We have this work to do. We have there's another job too, you know. I've got the share certificates are ready. Remind me about that. We'll look at those and talk about it later. But I have to number and sign all the share certificates. I don't think we should do that all on the stream. And then we have a dynamite show and tell. Something that I've been thinking about showing for quite a while, but we didn't get it scanned. And now that it's scanned and in the collection, we can show it. In fact, let me give you a link so that those of you who have got a big enough screen can check this out. This is what the show and tell is going to be about. Oops, twice. That's a bit of a hint for today's show and tell. Okay, let me try and get some work done. Are we zoomed at the appropriate level here? Let's see, where am I doing here? I carve here. Okay, this should help. The kabuki prints, why? Did I talk about them before? Did I mention them? I don't remember. Did I tease about it or am I forgetting? Have I already shown them? Have I already shown them? I can't remember. I didn't think so. Yeah, I think I talked about them when they came in, but I postponed showing them until we had them up in the collection, and now that's all done. The work is ready. Rose-san has done good background on each one of them. They are some spectacular prints, absolutely spectacular prints. We get nice clouds today. Hey, look at nice clouds. So the block we're carving today, it's going to be for a grayish blue, a dirty blue-gray color. And it will be on his kimono he'll be on his kimono as a solid color. We'll carve out a pattern later. And it'll be on his kimono as a positive pattern, which we'll carve out later. But we're also going to put it under the stones, under the hair, and it's on the brush. It's going to give the dirty tone to the brush. He is scrubbing an ink stone with the brush, and it should look dirty. So this gray-blue block will cover all those areas. Also underneath the hair. Are you claiming chocolate eggs? I haven't been following here, I'm sorry. Missed the questions there, I'm sorry. But if you guys are answering, thank you very much. Actually, there's maybe just a chance to ask now. The stream, after the stream the other day, a bunch of people wrote to me, a few people wrote to me saying, wow, Dave, there were so many people watching the stream. You set a new record, over 400 people, whatever, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I went to the Twitch channel analytics page, whatever, and had a look at it. And there's some statistics there that I don't understand. And maybe somebody here knows what this is all about. It mentioned maximum views, it mentioned average views, and then it mentioned live views. And the live views count was like 1,400, 1,400 or something. And I don't know what that means. Average views I get over the period of an hour and a half that we do this. People come, people go, people come, people go. So what was the average number of people there? And it said unique views. It was like 1,100 people. So 1,100 different people came and popped in for a minute and then left, I guess. But I don't know what live views means as a statistic. Maybe it's something obvious, but I don't know what it is. Live views, but there was a. I should find the image and show it to you. I guess so. I should have prepared more carefully. Ah, no, I tossed it. Ow! I don't have it. Just a sec. I shouldn't fool around with this kind of thing. Just a minute. One sec. Here we are. I'll tap it. Yeah. There we go. So some of the numbers seem understandable to me, but as I said, live views well, now that I think about it, maybe what it is because some of the streams stay on the Twitch webpage for a couple of weeks after we're finished, maybe that count there only refers to the people who came in when it was live. And for people who watch it after it's finished, that doesn't appear as part of that statistic. So maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I don't watch this stuff so much, whatever. Just simply people wrote last time and said, Davey set a new record or whatever. I don't know. For the grey undertone for the hair, now it's got to go under the mass of hair, but if we come too far out, it'll look silly. It'll put grey on his face. So we've got to stay just behind the edge of the hairs. Has there been any more news on Neko Hake after the release of Evening Snow? There is huge news pending. I know I'm trying to balance what to save and what to put out. The Neko Hake series at the moment, there will be a box arriving. Actually, it'll be arriving during the stream this morning, coming from Chiharu-san, who works in Nagano. She sent me an email yesterday. I called her up. We phoned and chatted about this. She has now finished her batch of printing on the second print in the Neko Hake series. That's the Night Rain. So we had Evening Snow was first, and now we have Night Rain. So the printing on 2 batches of the second print is now completely, totally finished. Cameron and I are discussing when to publicly announce it, and we are thinking that we'll do it at the same time that we announce our gift print. And that announcement is going to be going out September the 10th is our target date. September 10th for the next announcement from Moko Hankan. And it'll be 2 or 3 new prints. We've got some other stuff upstairs we've been working on, we haven't shown you. So the September 10th announcement will be the gift print, which doesn't exist yet, but it's got to exist by September 10th. It'll be the Cats number 2, and it'll be some other stuff which we'll talk about later. And that means then that the first 2 of the Cats are finished, and people are wondering what's going on with the rest of the series. What's going on with the rest of the series? And I have been procrastinating. There are 7 or 8 other designs underway. They're on the updates page over there, but I haven't yet decided which one to choose for the next production print in this series. And I've just been procrastinating back and forth. Should it be this one? Should it be that one? Should it be this one? Should it be that one? There's so much good stuff on my desk. And that also it's so difficult. It's easy to pick one person and say, okay, we've picked yours and we're going to run with it. It's really tough to phone the other 2 or 3 people, to write to the other 2 or 3 people and say, sorry, you didn't make the cut. And that's the terrible part about this series, is that by encouraging people to send their stuff in and by paying them to work up their image and getting it ready, I still at the end of the day have to make that call and tell 2 or 3 people, I'm sorry, yours isn't the one that I chose. And I've been procrastinating on that for the next one. So, but yes, the series is moving forward at a glacially slow pace, but it's moving forward. Excuse me. We carry on the David's Choice series. Yes, people keep writing about this too. David's Choice number 11 is plotted. I know the topic, I know the rough stream of what I want to talk about, and that's all. I have to sit down now and change the plot into a careful stream. I have to pull prints from the collection, I have to do the video, make a rough script, and then do it. And I'm sorry, I just don't have any, just the time thing has just become insane. I don't want to talk about the same thing again all the time, I'm sorry, but the schedule now is completely insane. Finally, at last, the accounting is behind us for a while. Our tax papers, our tax forms were cleared yesterday. Our tax forms were finished yesterday, and they will now be uploaded today to the tax office website. So that's done at last. Yeah, David's Choice number 11. Coming to a video screen near you sometime soon. It's funny, if you go back to March, when the virus thing was really hitting, February and March, we closed the shop in, I guess it was around the 10th of March or so, the first week of March, second week of March. And at that time I was thinking, wow, this is going to be a wild ride. But among the other things we were thinking, I thought, well, that's it. There's no more print parties, Dave. You've been running yourself ragged with print parties. But now that print parties are in abeyance for a while, you can work on some videos. And if you'd asked me back in March, what about the video plan? I'd said, that's it, good. There's no more print parties. I'll have a video out of here once every month, whether we need it or not. That's what I would have answered back in March. What I didn't realize was that the roof was about to fall in. I'm seeing comments I should. Did we get the Patreon accounting issue resolved? No, we've punted. We've lifted up the carpet, sloughed it under the carpet, and let the carpet fall down with a bump underneath. We are doing the accounting for the Patreon the same way that I've been doing for the past 2 or 3 years. I kind of pushed the accountants on this. I know, long story short, you don't know what. I know he thinks the Patreon money should be done as a gift, a third-party gift, and it goes at a higher tax rate. I'm suggesting it should be done as straight income. He says, no, because you're not selling prints, it can't be income, it must be a gift. But I've pushed on this. I'm the guy actually who will decide this. And I've pushed for it. And he says, well, next time you get audited, we'll see what happens. But please be aware you may get charged a penalty. And I'm going to take that risk because I imagine when the audit does come, the tax guy's going to look at this. He's going to see a very clean set of books. We're not hiding anything. It'll be a question of interpretation. And I think it's not an unreasonable interpretation to take the Patreon money and call it income, fully declare it as income. So whatever. Anyway, go. I know, again, I don't want to talk too much about the accounting, whatever. There's 6 different issues. He and I have resolved them at the moment, and they've said, okay, that's your call. Okay, we're going to do this. That's your call. We're going to do this. They've done the ones that have nothing to do with me, and I've made a decision on some of the ones that are a question of interpretation. The tax we have to pay, the immediate tax bill coming up that we have to pay by the end of the month is $1,770,000. This is yen, not dollars. Dave's tax bill is $1,700,000 yen. That's by the end of the month. And that's the tax bill on the profit for the first 6 months of the year. This is interesting. So we were actually doing really well. January, February, we were flying until this thing hit. And then even then, April, May, June, we managed to keep our head above water. So it's a bit of a tragedy. The first 6 months of this year, we've done really quite well. And now the bottom is falling out, as you all know. Europe, people are getting laid off. America, layoffs are still happening. The next 6 months are not going to be anything like this. When I said right now, about a year later, all the cat prints should be finished. Yeah, okay. Did I say that? Okay. Okay, I said that. Did I? Patreon takes so much from creators it sucks. I don't know. I have nothing bad to say about them. Those people have their own business model, and they're also stuck in between a whole bunch of things. The Patreon people now are being yelled at by tax authorities all over the world. All over the world. In fact, in our case already, if I have a person on our Patreon campaign who lives in Germany, Patreon is now forced to charge that person the tax that would be applied in Germany, as though that person was receiving some goods, even though that person may not even be receiving anything. So Patreon is a bit stuck in the middle between a whole bunch of competing things. I have no bad things to say about them. That campaign for us at the moment is saving our lives. So I have nothing negative to say about it whatsoever. It's saved our lives this last few months. I got too much conversation, guys. I guess you're on it, but I can't, Another peaceful morning out there, eh? Sky's gone hazy again. Good. Oh, you know what that sound is? That's the pickup, the cans and bottles. Triangle pops, pleasure of my life. One of the pleasures of life, to show. Sometimes they make a nice satisfying sound and sometimes they're quiet. It depends on the wood grain underneath, you know. Somebody had his happy little trees and somebody has his triangle pops. All together now. When you come at them, there's the grain to show. The wood grain is running this way. So if I pop out the triangle this way, I'm cutting against the grain and it crunches and it should pop. If I cut it out this way, I'm cutting with the grain and it doesn't crunch and it doesn't usually pop. It is so stinky hot here, you know. I don't want to be wearing any clothes here, but whatever. Do I have a fan? There's one or two fans out there. What do you mean? Oh, a fan, as in pushing air. Actually, yeah, there is one upstairs not being used. The girls are using their air conditioning, so they're not using their fan up there right now. So yeah, actually I do have one I could pull down here. But I won't be working in this all day. I'm just going to be working in this during stream time. As soon as the stream is finished, I am back to business. I'm a shipper today. And there's been a bunch of orders on the flea market. Cameron, on the last Friday, he remembered that he was supposed to be doing some stuff with Instagram. And he posted some Instagram stuff last Friday, and a bunch of orders came in from the flea market because of that. And they're all processed now, and money's flowing through and everything else. So I've got to get them. I've got to get them out of here. So I'm a shipper packer today for the rest of the day. Our normal subscription prints and catalog orders and stuff, they're not shipped here from Asakusa. They're shipped by our professional shipping ladies over in Ome. That's where all the inventory of our prints is kept. But the flea market prints, because they were part of our shop, that stuff's all here. So whenever there's an order for a flea market print or something else combined with it, I have to ship it from here. And there's a bunch of them stacked up now, so that's my job today. And we're now thinking, of course, that because it's clear the shop itself won't be opening anytime soon, we may just take all that inventory and just send it back to Ome so that they can ship that stuff from there. Also, not sure, there's a bunch of people here who may not be familiar with the update. We talked a couple of weeks ago about the big decision coming up. I had the meeting with the landlady and stuff like that, all that sort of thing. She backed off the meeting, but we did have to push communication with her because we wanted to get the lease changed. And those changes are now happening. And the decisions and stuff have pretty much been made as far as the lease. The lease in our building is in 1, 2, 3. It's separate for every floor. We started on the second floor exactly 6 years ago, then went to the third floor, and went to the first floor here 2.5 years ago. So what we're going to do, because the second floor and third floor are extremely cheap, the lease is just dirt cheap. Even if we closed the whole building and tried to find a nearby workroom, we'd never find a place as cheap as this anyway. So at the end of this month, or next week, or might be tomorrow actually, I'll be signing the lease to renew for the second floor for 3 more years. So we don't know, we didn't meet her, so I don't know if that was a story falling down the stairs or not. It doesn't matter. She just didn't want to have a face-to-face conversation. It's so difficult to say no in Japanese, and she was worried we would strongly push her something that she didn't want to do, and she wouldn't be able to say no. So we didn't make trouble on this. It's okay. We got what we wanted. We got the lease changed for 2 things, so that we were allowed to do other activities than woodblock printmaking, because the lease at the moment says only making and selling woodblock prints. So we've got the lease changed to allow other things, and we've also got the lease changed to allow we can bring in somebody else to work with us. And even we could sublet this place now. It's written into the lease. There's a subletting is permitted. So anyway, long story short, I'm saying we're going to keep the second floor. We're going to re-sign for that, because whatever happens to the shop, whatever happens to tourists, we still need our workroom. As long as there's a bare minimum of business to survive for publishing, we need the second and third. The first floor now is the question mark, and that decision gets punted till January because the lease on the first floor comes up at the end of January. And by then we've had August, September, October, the American election goes through, the world comes to an end or not, we don't know. Another 6 months from now should have a better idea on whether or not we could expect people to come back within my lifetime or not, or something. At the moment, it's really not looking good. So it could go either way, but I'm thinking probably what will happen if the news continues to be bad, we will abandon the first floor come January. And we will keep the Asakusa shop, we'll keep the big Baron mark, we'll keep our brand name, and it will be simply, of course, a publishing and a workroom. We won't actually have a shop with no people coming to town, paying rent for a shop for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, makes no sense. As far as the discussions about buying the building, we never got that far because we can't do that over the telephone. We hope we can arrange a meeting with her sometime to put those ideas into play. And that will happen now towards the end of the year, because the big lease on the ground floor comes up end of January. So that's, again, long story short, no change at the moment. We are going to press on as we are. And the feeling is we will probably end up being what we were 8 years ago. We will be a publisher rather than an actual physical shop. But we'll see how it goes. Where's my picker? When am I planning to shift the inventory? We don't know. As I said, I know it really depends on that decision come January. I know. At the moment, it's a slight inconvenience for me to have to do that shipping. I don't want to do the inventory shifting until we're sure that it really will be a thing. Then we'll make space in Ome for it. Somehow we'll make space in Ome for it and move it all back. But I'm not going to do that until we're more sure that we're going to give up the shop space. You know. But we're keeping Asakusa, absolutely, unless we lose all of our publishing business, unless everything goes down the tubes. You know. Same thing here, how much gray to show under this hair and how much not. I'm not quite sure what to do here. Let's just keep it feathered at the edge here. It's really quiet outside to show. Really, really quiet. Do I have a Japanese word of the day? What? I'm not sure. What are you asking me? I know. We had a bit of a surprise yesterday. I was sitting here working in the shop. We were taking pictures. Watanabe-san came over yesterday, and we did a whole bunch of new pictures for the collection. Some great stuff. You know the book we looked at in the last show and tell, the set of 12 woodblock prints, the beautiful series of woodblock prints in the last show and tell. We took pictures of them yesterday, and we did it. We got it. The folding book, and they're all front and back and all sorts of things. It was really difficult, but we got some lights set up and we got it. And she's working now at home on the Photoshop. So we will have that into the show and tell pretty soon. But while we were doing that, truck pulled up outside, 2 trucks pulled up outside. Noise, big crap, whatever. Unloading. We say, what's going on? So we go outside, and from these 2 trucks, they take the canvas off and they start unloading kitchen equipment. And I mean a huge batch of kitchen equipment. And then on the other side of the street, some big truck, which is like for garbage, whatever, pulls up. And the bar 2 doors down from us, it turned out that it was his day for renovating all his old kitchen gear, his stove, his fridge, and stuff like that. And over the period of the afternoon, the team of guys, they ripped out the old stuff, put the new stuff in. And this is a kind of a hidden bar. You know what, those of you who come here, you know where the theater is, 2 doors down from us. Hidden behind and under that on the ground floor is this kind of L-shaped bar. It's called the Orange Bar. And he's been here for, well, much longer than me. And he opens each evening at around 8 or 9 o'clock. He opens at around 8 or 9 o'clock. And he closes just about the same time the first train starts running in the morning, somewhere 5, 5:30, 6 o'clock, whatever. That's his business model. And we've been thinking, you know, it's been really, really, really quiet there. Some evenings he's even been closed because the government has been trying to discourage bars and smoky places and, you know, whatever. But I guess he's decided he's in it for the long haul, and he's using his quiet time here now to totally renovate his business. So he's a lot more optimistic than me on this. He is thinking that it's pretty quiet right now, but the world is going to come back to normal. And he's taken the opportunity to use the quiet time, the downtime, to totally do his major physical renovation. He's been there, I don't know, 25, 30 years. So maybe that was the original kitchen, I don't know, coming out. And he got his new kitchen yesterday. So it's a bit of a bother for me because what happens is he closes at around, like I said, at around 5 or 5:30 or 6, he closes. And the people are pretty happy. They've been sitting there 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, drinking away bit by bit by bit. And they're pretty happy. And even if they were strangers, by now they know each other. So they spill out onto the street at 5:30. And before they like stagger off and head to the station, they're chatting and calling. They'll even sing a song or two or something, whatever. And this is happening right outside my window at 5:30 in the morning. So, but I can't complain, you know, because it's my choice. This is Asakusa. This is not a residential district. It's a bar district. So you can't just throw your window open and say, "Hey, you people, shut up!" You know, you can't do that because this is a bar district. So there's nowhere. I'm the one who's expecting, you know, peace and quiet residential stuff, but at 5:30 in the morning, sometimes it's not that bad. It's not all the time, every day, but every now and then they have a lively crowd or something. They've had a good day there. There's a nighttime bar scene like that all across Tokyo. You know. People go into the bars in the evening and they come out again when the trains start running. There's no nighttime subway service in Tokyo at all. Okay, I think we are cut, are we? Nope, there's the zone, not cut. Not quite yet. What do I do in my spare time? What do I do in my spare time? I haven't had spare time since I was 10 years old. I don't know. My life is not organized very well. I'm sorry, I don't have spare time. So. Okay, this should do us, right? Come around here, that's the final corner now, is it? That's this bucket. Okay, I think now that's it. It's all cut, the edges are cut on all of his stuff, on his hair. They're cut on the two stones, and the brush seems to be cut right around everywhere here, here, head, here. Okay, regular viewers now know then that what happens next is a little bit noisy. We're going to have to clear off some of the waste wood around the outside. It's going to get a little bit noisy. How's our time? 8:46. We're okay. Good. Keep on to this. Actually, too, the drink today, it says it's on a, what do you call it? On a water with CO2. I forget the English word for it. I don't know. My God, I forgot the English word for it. It's just carbonated water. What's the word for it? Tansan in Japanese. This one has lemon also inside. Sparkling water, can I guess so. Hi. I think I've got the camera way too low. Let's put it up. No, it confused me too when I saw it in the shop. When it says strong, I thought it meant like a 13% alcohol or something, but no, it means strong. They really did. They've upped the carbonation to some really heavy level. And when you open it, that thing just shocks you. Take a mouthful and I'm burping for the next half an hour. So strong in that sense means strong carbonation. No, I wouldn't be drinking, not drinking highballs at this time in the morning, sorry. I'm a degraded degenerate, but not that far yet, sorry. Not yet, not yet. Mineral water, that was what I was looking for, just mineral water, carbonated mineral water, sorry, with a dash of lemon, so. Okay, let me give you two. We won't do the whole thing, it's just too noisy, it'll take me half an hour. So we'll do just exactly what we did the other week. I will clear around one of the buoys here. And for the benefit of the new people who are here, to clear one of these blocks, it's a 3-stage process. Stage 1, actually you've seen part of it. I cut the lines. So the pink parts, which we're leaving, they're going to stay. And the white parts, which we're going to clear off, are now separated. There's a line cut around the outside. Stage 2, we're going to clear part of the waste wood and get it out of the way. Then stage 3, we will use some little chisels and we'll clean up the last little bit near the line. I won't do the whole block. I'm going to do right now just simply this little part of it so you can see what happens here. And I have to always remind myself, don't cut the registration marks off. And there's a registration mark here. I'll circle it. And there's another registration mark. It's not visible to you guys there, but there's a registration mark here. This is where the paper will fit in later when we are printing. And if by mistake I happen to clear this part away, it is a headache later on. So I'll try and remind myself not to cut those two places. Okay, we have a compressor on the microphone, so it shouldn't be too bad, but for the next 2 or 3 minutes here, I won't be able to chat with you. I am just going to make some noise. Excuse me just a minute here. Oh, it's earthquake. So, God, Dave, I forgot again. I'm sorry. John's been doing his job there. Sorry, John. Sorry, John. Thank you. Shout louder next time. Shout louder next time. I'm sorry. I'm a beginner here, you know. Sorry about this. Win some, lose most of them. I really need a pilot's checklist for all of this stuff, you know, so. Sorry, John, yeah. I'm cutting, somebody's asking, cutting along the lines. I'm cutting in a direction where I cut away, like, what can I say? This group here. I cannot cut this way because the wood grain is straight along this board. And if I cut this way, any splits or misses will cut into the retained area. So I cut this way so that splits or misses happen out in the area away from the figure. So that's why I'm rotating. I'm always trying to cut away from the figure. It's like when people are telling you how to carve, you know, you never carve towards yourself, you carve away from yourself. So I'm carving for the most part away from the figure, trying to follow the wood grain wherever possible. Not always possible, but was that our garbage truck for the restaurant, Korean restaurant? Also, I don't remember hearing the vacuum cleaner today. I spoke too soon about the quiet. It's going to get noisy, I guess, what's happening now. Deliveries, I don't know. Okay, that'll give us a chance for some work to clear. So we had it. That's part two, clearing out the garbage. We'll have to go farther out. But again, it's not suitable work for the stream, just too noisy and boring. Then step three now. Step three is kind of actually, well, I can't say my favorite. I don't know. It's part I like. Step three is clearing up to the lines. How do I prevent splits? It's the direction. You just stay with the wood grain, stay with the direction. Whenever there's a part where the wood grain is in a direction you can't go, you press down. And as long as you're pressing down heavily on the blade, if you don't press down, it'll split out. But if you press down, it'll go where you want it to go. Mostly. And these chisels, we've got them in a selection of widths. There's a 6 millimeter, I got a 3 somewhere, there's a 3, a 2, a 1. There's a selection of them here in different widths. And I just keep changing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The width that best suits the particular piece of wood here. And here we go, this is the difference. I think right up to the edge of the wood, the retained wood for printing, and the wood we don't need. And it comes away cleanly because I carved up already. The line is carved away. Did I make all the handles myself? No, it's a mix. It's a mix. Some of the, you can see the difference. These two, these are among my very first tools. These I would have bought in 1979 on the first trip to Japan. The blades have been replaced over the years, but the handles are still the same handles. So it's kind of a student level handle, and it's still in there. It's Bumpodo, the place I bought it from. Can you read it? It's still actually visible there, Bumpodo. And I would have bought those in the winter of 1979. But the blades have been replaced, and you can see the inside, the damage from being so it's been chipped and popped and chipped and popped, and longer blades and shorter blades and everything put in. Even the current blade now too, it's getting a bit rusty. It's got another, it's got another year or so left, I guess. And then ones like this is what I would have made. I would have made this one, I made this one, just chunks of wood. This one, now look at this, it's covered with, it must be stuff that came off my hand or whatever. I don't want to investigate too much, it's all covered with something. And this has been replaced many, many, many times. These wear out. The blade wears out, but also the handle wears out. It's because the blade goes inside, you end up shimming it, clearing a bit, shimming it, clearing a bit, so the slot eventually gets too loose. And the area where the collet is also gets ground down, because when you're sharpening, it bangs against the sharpening stone. And this is, I guess, honestly speaking, this should probably be replaced now. It's getting a bit too... it's getting a bit too beat up. I don't know, how many more years do I have left? I don't know. Our new tools, we're busy designing a new tool set. For the past couple of months now, that has been sleeping because Aoyama-san, who's working on it, has been totally tied up with this stupid bookkeeping stuff. It's not just the bookkeeping, it's the post office changes. I mentioned this earlier. The post office is moving over, partly under pressure from the American government. The post office is moving over to a completely electronic system. The Americans a while back, a year ago or 2 years ago, put in what they call the STOP Act. It's STOP, it stands for something. And they are not going to, starting next January 1st, America doesn't allow any deliveries of any kind of package, postal package, they don't allow it to come off the airplane unless advance notice was sent before it was put on the airplane at the other end. What I mean is, normally I take a package to the post office, we put a stamp on, we give it to the post office. They take it to the airport, they put it on an airplane, it flies over, it lands in Seattle. The bag comes off the airplane, goes into the post office sorting center there, and away it goes. It's not permitted anymore. They are not going to allow any airplane to land that has bags of stuff in it that has not been previously declared at the other part of the world. So for me to take it to my post office now, no more handwritten labels. it's got to go to the post office website first, book the package, put the address of the person, what's going inside it, and then get a number from the post office. Get a special printout from my computer, take it to the post office, put that printout on the package. They beep it, and the information now goes electronically to Washington, D.C. or someplace. And the computer there says, yep, we'll take that one, or whatever, or not. And then after the answer comes back, it's acceptable, then the Japanese post office can put it into the airplane ready to take off for America. All to stop terrorism or something. I haven't any idea. It's called STOP. I forget the meaning of the whatever. And it's insane. And what it means is no more handwritten, when I say handwritten labels, what I mean is our own software prints out our labels from our own software. You subscribe, you pay by PayPal, it comes in, our software prints it out, we drop it at the post office, away it goes. No, we have to use the post office format, which means by their system, one by one, you go to a website, type in the name, type in the address. And I'm like, we have 300, 500 packages going out every month. There's a business website. You go to the business website. You're allowed to store 50 customer addresses inside it. Only 50, no more than this. Only Windows, just, I'm going to lose my day here. Relax, don't talk about it. But me and our Amazon, this is what we've been working with. If you're Amazon.com, your computer system can handle this, or they design it to handle this. If you're Mrs. Suzuki sending a package to a friend in America, you don't care. You go to your smartphone and you spend a half an hour fiddling to type in the address. For in-between size people like us, who send hundreds of packages a month, but who aren't Amazon-level computer systems, we are screwed. So we're trying to figure out how to get around this, what to do. I'm complaining too much today. I'm sorry about this. Excuse me. This is supposed to be a happy trees, whatever. But did somebody ask me about that? I don't know. So, there are CSVs, and this is what sort of we're working on. We've got it figured out, their system for a CSV. We had to register with them. We had to get a credit card and register with the post office and all this stuff to CSV. But what happens is, you put the data on the CSV. I said 50 items max. So what we do is we do 50 customers, 50 data, put it in the CSV, send it in, print out the labels, then erase all the data. Then do the next 50 customers and go from there. The thing about it is, though, the system, I'm laughing when I tell you this, once you've got the CSV, when you load it all in it goes, you then have to go to your computer, to the website, and one by one, print out the labels. You cannot do a max gang batch printout of the whole 50. You have to print them out one by one. We've been wrestling with this now for weeks and months. This isn't specifically Trump, actually, too. This sort of thing, this has been going on for a long time now, actually. This is not some stupid thing that the fearless leader over there has done. This is bigger than him. It's bigger than him and older than him. And I get the idea, too, also. Instead of just having bags of random stuff, it makes sense to have the contents registered, taxable, dutiable, all that sort of stuff. So I'm not actually against the concept. It's just that we are the size business that just falls in between the cracks on here, you know. Anyway, enough. I mean, too, inside the U.S. with the USPS, I think they're doing the same thing. They're trying to develop efficient systems, of course, you know. So they want tracking, and you know, stuff has to be measured and weighed. So as I said, I'm not against the idea of making an efficient system. It's just that the way it's been implemented, with no thought whatsoever to how the customers are going to use it. I think they've really thought of just two things: the Mrs. Suzuki, the one customer. Okay, let's make a website. She can come in. She can put the address on. That's okay. That's all she needs. They're not really thinking of the needs of the people who mail, you know, a few hundred. So one thing we may do, it's actually on our planning list, we may continue for the US, we may continue with our current emergency shipping system, which is we wrap everything individually here, dump it in a big box together, send it by FedEx over there, and our agent, who's Jed's assistant, she opens it all up, puts USPS labels on, and that system works. We send her a CSV. She loads it into her software, prints out the labels while they're in the house there, sticks them on, and just drops the bag off at the post office. Perfect system. But the problem from our point of view is that means we have to pay twice. We pay once to FedEx to get it over to America, and then we have to pay domestic US postage to get it from her place to the customers. That's what we're doing now in the virus era. All of our American shipments are going that way because at the moment, the Japanese post office is not accepting any shipments for America. How's our time? We okay? 9:10. A few more minutes. These prints we're going to look at in a minute. These prints are to die for. I gave you a link earlier in the stream today to a Wikipedia page that talked about today's show and tell. But let me give you another link. This is here. This is one of the prints that I will be showing in a few minutes. I know FedEx one by one, we cannot do that. We cannot do FedEx individual to subscribers. There's no way. We can't send a $35, $40 subscription print with an $80 transportation fee. That's just not possible. It might be possible if people are buying, a full print set for $500, then we can afford to ship it by FedEx, but not monthly subscription prints. So this is our problem. So. Yes, of course we're on the web API with this. We've looked at it. I know that's the thing I said. It only works for Windows systems. We've registered with them. We are trying to figure out at the moment how to do it. And the background problem with the API system is that, of course, I have to build software. I have to write software to do this. So at the moment, we have software to run our subscription systems. And it started in 2003, back in the era where we just printed out little white labels. So that's the foundation of our software. And we've now rebuilt it to the point, over the past few weeks, we've rebuilt it to the point where I can prepare the CSV systems for the Japanese post office. But the next step for me, to be able to connect directly, Amazon style, to connect directly to the post office API, I have to completely and totally rebuild my software. Absolutely, of course. Authorization tokens and back and forth and whatever and how you go. So we've registered with them for permission to do that. That's step one. We've asked them to send us the manual, and they still haven't done that. They're studying our application. I guess they think we're too small. I don't know. Who knows? And it's just another thing for Dave. I want to be making woodblock prints, and here I am. I'm going to be writing API applications to do mailing labels. Ah. And it gets worse, actually. I'm not complaining, right? I'm in a happy voice, Tisha. It gets worse because our own software that we're using for running our subscription systems, which was built pretty much almost not before the net was invented, but it was built nothing to do with the internet. There's no cloud interface for it at all. It's software that runs on my Mac. I built, custom Apple software to run all of our internal bookkeeping. And it doesn't communicate well with the outside world. I didn't write it that way. I didn't need to do that back in, when I wrote it, 1990, whatever it was, So it really, really has to be completely rebuilt. And it'll be fun, but anyway, enough of that. Let's look at the prints. Enough of this. So I'm saying ask Paul to do it. I know this is a big, it's an existential question for us. How much now to outsource our software production? This is a really big, difficult question for us to answer. At the moment, all of our software here, I built it from scratch, from zero. So it's perfectly, totally, absolutely customized. Cameron has a problem with it. He calls me, I go in, I fix the code, bang, it's done. We don't need to send a bill for maintenance to somebody for $10,000 a month for maintaining it or whatever. But the downside is it's all only me. When there's a change needed, it comes back to me, and it has to be me. So should we start to outsource our software production? Oh my God, the maintenance. Okay, enough of that. Let's look at some prints. Did you go to the website? Did you click the link I sent? This is the link. This is one of the prints. And maybe here's the link. This is the link to the series itself. I don't write 100% in machine code, not anymore. I never wrote 100% in machine code. Give me a break. And I've forgotten what I knew. I've forgotten. Look at these prints. Okay, what we're looking at here is this. 1895. Actually, no, the story begins back in 1830s. Somewhere in the 1830s or so. The top kabuki dudes of the day, the Danjuro family, back in the 1830s, they picked a bunch of the plays that were on the boards back in those days. They picked 18 of them. They picked 18 of the kabuki plays that were being shown back then. And they picked the 18 that were the roughest, that were the least delicate, that were they call it Aragoto style. Go out there and bash and smash and break furniture. And Aragoto style is the word for it. And the Danjuro family were killers of this. That was their main deal. So the Danjuro leader at the time, in 1832 or 34 or something, he picked 18 plays and said, this is it. This is the Kabuki Ju Hachiban. This is the 18 greatest Kabuki plays of all time. That wasn't true, but it doesn't matter. It was the 18 plays that they thought suited their own acting style the best. Anyway, it became a thing. Skip ahead to 1895, and the designer, I forgot, it's Tada Kiyo. Kiyotada or Tada Kiyo. Kiyosada, Tada Kiyo. Oh, they're all here. Here we are. This is one. Torii Kiyosada. But his name sometimes appears as Kiyotada, and it also appears as Tadakiyo, upside and downside and backside. So I don't really know who. Yeah, the headings are right to left. Kabuki Ju Hachiban, and then followed by the name of each one of the 18 plays. Some of them I can read, and some of them I can't read. Anyway, I'm getting confused. The print series was made in 1895, and what I have here is a separate edition that was made from those blocks in 1927. And the plays are over the top, and the prints match this. The prints are over the top as well. I mean, just look at this. We all like embossing, but oh my God, they have embossed this paper within an inch of its life everywhere. And the carving. Look at the scale of this with my finger. How much can we zoom in? I can't reach the camera anymore. These things are just insane. This is not, it's not a delicate, beautiful Japanese, you know, flowers or whatever. This is the roughest of the rough, the wildest of the wild, the embossed of the embossed. We've scanned them. We haven't scanned them. We've photographed them. This whole set is on the website right now, and you can zoom in. You can see bugs walking around the surface of the paper here. They are just insane. I don't remember chapter and verse. I can't even remember the name of this particular play. I'm sorry. Let's zoom out here and have a look at these things. These also, for those of you who are interested, these are actually not so expensive. If you wanted to try and find the 1895 edition, you're out of luck. But if you want prints like this from the 1927 edition, they come up here all the time in the used market. They usually go for about $100 a piece or so, somewhere around there. It's 1927, you know, this is not ancient stuff. And there are a lot of people out there who really do not like these. Even by 1895, the style of drawing kabuki actors had become pretty corrupt. It was wild. And these are not the classical, wonderful Japanese art of the old times. But they are, they're just wild. They're just wild. Ichikawa Danjuro. They're so big here, I'm having trouble deciding what to do, to focus in or to focus out or whatever. The paper is this incredible Taisho era paper. We've talked about it before. It's super, super thick paper, maybe twice as thick, 3 times as thick as what I'm using now for my own prints. And because of that, it takes this incredible dynamic embossing. And the sizing is very light. It's very, very softly sized, but the colors come up deep, deep and rich. Look at this. Mine are getting a tiny bit foxed, but it's not so bad. And again, the colors, this is not classical ukiyo-e coloration too. This is early 20th century coloration. There's also, I don't know if we can see it here, how can we do this? This black object we're looking at here, it's got shomenzuri, it's got front rubbing. Let me see if I can try and find an angle here. This black, the black here, look for this to change as I find the angle. There we go, got it? There we are. In his mouth, again, I don't remember all of these. It's a scroll. Each one has a story to behind this. And if you go to the website I linked to you a few minutes ago, Rose-san, our curator here in our Mokuhankan collection, she has gone back and found details. So she will be explaining. If you go to our website, look this up, she'll be explaining. The colors aren't opaque, but they are more solid than what you'll see in a traditional ukiyo-e. The black lines here, for example. This is the black line printed first, and then red on top of it. Also, look at this. Look what they've done here. This is pretty rough stuff. They've printed this twice, once with the base tone and once more with strong brush to try and give it some kind of feeling that it's been printed with a brush, written with a brush. Not very well done. Lots of fine here. So, somebody, wind in the willows, or wind pillows, excuse me, thank you, you've got it, good, thank you, thank you, thank you. Why are they cross-eyed? It's a kabuki convention. I've never been to a kabuki play myself. They don't cross-eyed all the time, they're acting, but at certain poses, especially for the stuff like this, the shibaraku type print, the actor will get himself up, he'll come and stand looking at the, and he will do the cross-eyed thing. And I don't know the derivation of why it started, but it's a kabuki convention, and it became common, of course. Here are the prints. That should be cat number 2. Is it coming into the door? Yes, 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 it's Neko number 2 arriving. Arigatou gozaimasu. Ii desu ka? Daijoubu desu ka? Domo, thank you. No, not today, not today. Save it, save it, save it, save it, save it. We're seeing enough stuff here today. We can't overload here. So John's found it. So There's an absolute story for each one of these, and the designer has picked up the story, the important point of the story. Okay, let's zoom in. Whoops. Get the location here. Here we go. And again, they're embossed just beyond belief. This is too much, really. Hontoni, this is too much. You can see it, the carving here. There's my finger for scale, and those are all hairs, one by one by one. Chup, 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 chup. And this hair also is done with the super gloss. Can I find the right angle here? If I get this and move around, there we are, got it? Look at this, there we are. There's two things happening here. There's a glossy layer on top of the hair, but can you see also there's hairs carved inside that black mass? They have gone just over the top, over the top, over the top. Pretty rough stuff, which suits the mood of all of those plays. There's 18 in the set, and I only have 17 so far. There's one I'm missing. We're going to keep our eye out for it. And one of two things is going to happen. I will be able to find that missing one by itself, or I will only be able to find a full set. And if I only find a full set, then what am I going to do? I have to buy the set to get that last one, and then we send these out into the world. I don't know, one by one by one. No idea. No idea. It's the same thing over and over and over and over again. All the blacks you see are vivid black, shiny. And again, there's a black hair carved inside them as well. They really are too big for me to show on this bench, you know, so. And as I said, they're all on the website. They're all on the website. And very, very high resolution. You can see all these very close up. The makeup style is Kumadori, Kumadori. And it's clearly not the old ukiyo-e style, absolutely not the ukiyo-e style. It's a bit of a bastardized style. And these prints get no respect at all. If the people who do research on the old ukiyo-e styles and stuff like this particular set of prints, it gets no respect from them whatsoever. From their point of view, this is just a cheap bunch of crap that was published with no artistic sense in the late Meiji time when things were really coming apart. It's an elephant. It's an elephant. Did you not see it? There's the story. Again, I don't remember the story. I'm sorry. I can't remember all the kabuki stories. There's no way. That's not my deal. This is a story about some strong man. I guess he's wrestling an elephant. This is an elephant. Let me try and get to my zoom in. It's going to help. We are seeing a kabuki actor, and he is wrestling an elephant who is upside down here. And I'm sorry, I don't remember the story. It'll be easy to link. On our website, when this print is shown on the website, Rose will have told the story. Absolutely. Again, super gloss. The black is all super glossed up. It's shiny. If I can find the right angle with the light. I can't find the angle again. It's so hard to find the right angle. There, is it there? So. And there's your mark. The three square boxes inside each other, what they represent are, in the traditional Japanese, the way to drink sake was in what they call a masu. It's a little square box, and you drink sake from it. And the Danjiro clan, the kabuki actors, their mon, their family mark, was three of these boxes nestled inside each other. We see it all over the place. And anytime you have anything to do with the Kabuki-Ju Hachiban, you will see that mark everywhere. It's the mark of the Danjuro Kabuki clan. And it goes on and on and on. They just get whatever, bigger and bigger and bigger. This one, it's just, this is so over the top. This stuff is just insane. It's just so over the top. I mean, the colors don't match, the colors don't blend. It's just an outrageous riot of color. But this is Kabuki. This is Kabuki. Japan is that kind of country, you know. There's some super delicate, mystical stuff, and then there's the riotous, raucous end to their country as well. So if you want some of these, we don't have any in our shop at the moment. I've got my own set here, and we don't have any in our shop. They go pretty quickly. But if you do want some, most of the dealers who are dealing overseas, Fuji Arts or Artelino, Dieter Artelino in Germany, he has these frequently. It's the 1927 edition of this. And I said they usually go for about $100, $125, somewhere around there. Here in Japan, I'm not sure what the overseas prices would be. So these are accessible. These are accessible. I don't have any right now, but they are accessible. And again, I said earlier, the classical people who study ukiyo-e, they don't give this stuff any respect. But I guess the people that made these, they don't care. They were probably sold in the hundreds of thousands, in the thousands of copies. They would have been sold to Kabuki fans at that time. It was fan stuff. They're fan posters, basically, I guess. Anyway, they're good fun. As I said on the website, we have them all in very high resolution. You can zoom in. If you're on a laptop, you can spread your fingers and pull the images up. And so, Dieter Artelino, I don't have a link for it. You can find it easily. He quite frequently has these. And also Fuji Arts in America. I think they're in Michigan, in Grand Rapids, Michigan. They have these sometimes too. But the classical ukiyo-e dealers, they don't touch this stuff. They think it's low class, below them. Okay, that'll do us, I think. That'll do us, that'll do us, that'll do us. It's a bit of a quiet to nothing stream today. I hope I didn't complain too much about the post office stuff. I'm sorry. People asked me questions, and I answered questions. And we're a bit frustrated because of some of the structural changes that are happening here with the taxes and post office. But I'm sorry if I complained too much. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Gene Simmons, yeah, Gene Simmons, right. Where did they get their ideas from? I do wonder, I do wonder, I do wonder. Okay. Anyway, there we go. Okay, thanks very much. Today's Thursday, so I'll be back here 2 days from now, Saturday. And I would really, really, really like to be going to Ome, but I can't. There's appointments here on Friday. We all know what kind of appointments. I don't need to talk about those. So Saturday, I will be back here. And it's possible the Monday after that, I might be out in Ome to get myself into the river. And if we do, as I said before, in Ome, we're going to test. We have the setup ready now for doing a walk around stream. And in Ome, I may hopefully have a walk around chance to do a stream next week. We're going to be testing. Okay, I'm out. What am I supposed to do? Remind everybody about this? Thanks very much, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye for now.